Hi, welcome to the PoliticAL update with me, Alexandra Acker-Lyons. I pay attention to the political news so you don't have to. This is the advice I give my millionaire clients, and you get it for free. It is Friday, February 13th. Happy Galentine's Day. I hosted my annual Galentine's Day gathering last night. Had about 70 women in the Denver area who work in politics or philanthropy. Lots of little girls also running around, which was so much fun. And it's just a networking event for people to be able to meet each other, invite a mentee. It is one of my favorite days of the year. You may notice I have a Leslie Knope cutout over my shoulder here. I got that made for my Valentine's Day parties. And if you have not watched the Parks and Rec episodes about Valentine's Day, you should. The whole series is delightful, but these in particular will bring you some joy. And then happy Valentine's Day as well to all who celebrate. And a shout out to my hubby, Jonathan. Okay, candidate news. So last week I neglected to say that my friend Jonathan Crease-Tompkins is running for governor of Alaska. Jonathan was at the time the youngest state legislator in Alaska's history. When he was first elected in 2012, he dropped out of Yale to run. He had a great career in the legislature and now has done a lot of pro-democracy work in Alaska and elsewhere. He is a wonderful person, exactly the kind of person we want in politics. And he does have a primary, and then there's like a 12-way primary on the Republican side. And as I've talked about before, Alaska has some quirky politics. They currently have a coalition government in the legislature made up of Democrats, independents, and moderate Republicans. So it is entirely possible for a Democrat like JKT, as we call him, to get elected. So really proud. It gets very expensive when your friends are all running for office. Also, like in a funny bloop this week, Senator Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico will not have any opponent because his Republican had an oops and didn't actually get onto the ballot. And so it's the first time in New Mexico's entire history as a state that there will not be a two-way race for Senate. Ben Ray is a wonderful senator. He was a wonderful member of Congress. So this is good news for New Mexico, and just kind of further evidence of Republican incompetence. Also, Corinne Taylor Robinson has dropped out of the Republican primary in Arizona. She was the first Republican to get in. She had Donald Trump's endorsement when she got in, and then Congressman Andy Biggs decided to run, and Trump also endorsed him. It was a whole thing. But she has not been able to raise the money to be competitive. So, on the one hand, the more the merrier is better for Katie Hobbs. On the other hand, this makes it even more likely that Andy Biggs is the Republican nominee, which is better for Katie's reelection. So, more Republican drama in Arizona and like so much Republican drama in Texas. That primary is coming up in just a couple of weeks. Republicans are freaking out over John Cornyn, potentially not even making it to a runoff. If he does make it to a runoff with Ken Paxton, he's very unlikely to win. Republicans have pointed out that they're going to have to spend like $500 million to try to save John Cornyn. I say bring it on. Of course, Democrats have a competitive primary on our side as well. But it is fun. It's kind of fun watching the other side be in disarray. Okay, other political news. We will very likely have a government shutdown again today of DHS over ICE funding. Called this a couple of weeks ago when we had the first shutdown that, 2 weeks is not enough time to hammer out these vast ideological differences. So we'll see what they do, but the momentum is definitely on the side with Democrats. Keep it up, keep those phone calls going to encourage our lawmakers to keep their political spine. And just yesterday, they announced that they will be pulling all of the federal troops, ICE, Border Patrol, others out of Minnesota. Thank God the poor people of Minnesota have been through so much these last few months. And political pressure has been working, you guys. So we just have to keep it up. I'm sure they'll go to another city. It might even be my city of Denver. But we now know what we need to do to fight back. So we will just keep doing it. 2028 has begun. We have a whole bunch of potential Democratic candidates going to the Munich Security Conference this week. Senator Ruben Gallego, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Mark Kelly, Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and former Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo will all be there. This is seen as a way to kind of brush up your foreign policy cred as we start heading into this shadow primary. And my shout out of the week goes to Amy Poehler. Not only Leslie Knope, but Amy Poehler, who is just an amazing champion for women. And when she and Tina Fey were the Weekend Update desk, they had a whole thing about Hillary Clinton and the pushback Hillary was getting. And they were like, yeah, but bitches get things done. And like that really stuck with me as someone who's been called that word a lot. And she has this amazing Instagram, probably a website too, thing called Amy Poehler's Smart Girls. And it's targeted at kind of like teen and tween girls with like positive messages and books and just all kind of great content. She directed a wonderful movie called Moxie that's also about like teen girls and self-esteem and she's the OG Galentine. So just had to give a shout out. I love her podcast. It will bring you joy. This week with Jonathan Groff was just like, as a theater dork, it was just like, ah. So thank you, Amy Poehler, for being a friend to gals everywhere. Have a great week. Bye.